Hello students, I hope you all are safe at home. So students, today we'll discuss about the poem that is The Solitary Reaper, which is written by William Wordsworth. So let us discuss about the author. William Wordsworth, 1770 to 1850, one of the most famous romantic poets, excelled in vivid and joyous descriptions of nature. Wordsworth is especially regarded as a poet of nature as he was a true worshipper of nature. Some of his famous poems are the Lucy poems, Daffodils, Tintern Abbey and the Prelude. So these are his famous poems. Now in this poem, he describes an incident when, on one of his walks in Scotland, he came across a Highland girl singing melodiously as she cut and bound the grain in the field. He tries to understand what she is singing about, but the tone affects him so deeply that he carries the music in his heart long after he has left the scene. Okay, now moving further. Okay, so let us begin our poem. Beyond her single in the field, yon solitary highland lash, reaping and singing by herself, stop here or gently pass. Alone she cuts and bends the grain and sings a melancholy strain. Oh, listen for the vale profound, it's overflowing with the sound. So, in this in this stanza, the poet tells us about a young girl of Scotland. He tells us to look at the girl who is reaping grain and also singing a sweet song. So, she is solitary or all alone. This makes us aware about the hushed atmosphere of the valley. She is highland lash. Now, Scotland divided into lowlands and highlands isn't just a geographical issue but cultural one too. Now, she is reaping grain and also singing a sweet song all alone. The poet is so mesmerized and elated by the singing that he does not want it to end. If he stops or passes by, she might see him and stop singing. He advises the passers by to stop and listen to her song or pass very silently so that she is not disturbed. He is moved by her song and feels that they might be moved by it too. Okay, now the poet says that the Highland girl cuts and binds the grain in salves. She is also singing a sad song. She is very busy in her song as well as her work. So, the speaker now gives us more details about what is going on. She is cutting some kind of grain and tying it all together, binds the song, okay, it all together and binds. Now the song she is singing isn't a very happy one. It is a melancholy strain. Okay, so the poet once again advises the passers by to listen to her song. The whole deep valley, which is magnificent and great profound, is echoing with it, is listening to her sweet voice. It is a full to the brain, which the sound of the woman's song. Okay, so moving further, no nightingale did ever chaunt more welcome notes to weary bands of travellers in some shady haunt among Arabian sands, a voice so thrilling never was heard. In springtime, from the cuckoo bird breaking the silence of the seas farthest, among the farthest Hebrides. Okay, so the poet compares the sweet voice of the girl so that of the nightingale. Okay, nightingale, a sweet voice word. So far, no nightingale has sung a song melodious as the girl sings. When a group of tired travelers, when a group of tired travelers reaches a shady place in the Arabian deserts, the nightingale welcomes tired the tired caravans with its sweet song. The voice of the singing girl is the voice of the singing girl is sweeter than that of a nightingale. Wordsworth has consciously chosen the nightingale, the best singing bird, only to make us aware about the superiority of the song of the solitary reaper. Okay, so a comparison between the song of the girl and the song of the cuckoo is made. It was so sweet that it broke the silence of the seas and of the far off islands on northwestern coast of Scotland. These islands are never disturbed by any storm, but the praiseworthy song of the girl intruded into their silence. Okay, now moving further, will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for old, unhappy, far off things. The battles long ago, or is it some more humbly familiar matter of today? Some natural sorrow, loss, or pain that has been and may be again. So, the, the poet does not understand the alien language of the song of the girl. He tries to interrupt it and, wonders whether anyone will tell him the meaning. He speculates that the girl is probably singing some plaintive numbers of a distant, okay, past or about some old unhappy far off things, which means perhaps she is singing about battles which have been fought, okay, a long time ago. He further wonders whether the song has something to do with the day-to-day life of the solitary reaper. He thinks that she might be singing. Okay, now moving further. So, whatever the theme, the maiden song, as if her song could have no ending, I saw her singing at her work, and over the sickle bending, I listened motionless and still as I mounted up the hill. The music in my heart I bore long after it was heard no more. So the speaker continues to ponder over the woman's song. The language of the song seems incomprehensible. He wonders if her song is more humbly, something more familiar or day to day. He tries to guess the theme. Perhaps she is singing a simple sorrow of loss or of some misery. He is ready sure only about one thing, that the woman song is a sad one. Probably the incident of loss or pain has taken place in the past and it may be experienced again in future. So the poet did not know the theme of the song. Irrespective of that, it seemed that the song of the young girl would not come to an end, could have no ending, makes it sound like the song isn't designed to ever end, like some definitive song that is a fact of life. Okay, now the poet listened to her song, standing still and motionless. The reaper is unaware of the speaker's presence or the effect of her song that had on him. As he mounted up the hill of Scotland, the sweet tone of the song struck his heart. He continues to listen, but the transcendent moment is past. As he walks away from the field, the song fades from his hearing, but its plaintive melody echoes in her heart and his imagination. He was so impressed that he carried the melody of the song with him long after it was ended. So the speaker is experiencing a transcendental moment. He is motionless and still. So students, we have read the poem. I hope you all enjoyed the session. Thank you.